Hey everyone. In this video, I want to talk to you about how you won't have to explain yourself to the right people. So I'm sure we've all been in situations where we get invited to do something and either we don't want to do it or we straight up cancel last minute and we feel like we need to explain our decision making to other people. But you don't really need to do this for people who are good for you. So what I mean is, people who are great to include in your life will likely understand and they'll be okay with it, especially if you're an introvert and you just aren't in the mood because you need to take some time to recharge by yourself. They'll understand and they won't get upset about it, they won't get angry. But if you have to cancel something and the other person gets mad over it, that likely tells you that this person isn't exactly the optimal kind of people you want to include in your inner circle, because they should have enough empathy to understand your situation and to just be okay with that. And with that kind of behavior, when somebody has that level of empathy, they aren't really going to need explanations from you. For instance, I do that quite often myself now, where if I can't do something or I don't want to do it, I just straight up say no. I don't provide any explanation anymore. I just say, hey, look, can't do it, or I don't want to do it, and that's that. I don't say, oh, I can't do it for X and Y reason, or I won't do it for X and Y reason. I just say I can't or won't do it. And I know that can sound a bit harsh, but here's the thing. Quite often, nice people or people pleasers are the ones who feel like they need to constantly explain themselves, and they even take it to almost a level of like overdoing it, where they really want to make sure they're not upsetting the other person. So they'll just provide like a paragraph explanation for why they have to cancel or why they can't accommodate the other person's plans. But you really don't need to do that for the right people. And now I'm not saying that you should never provide explanations and never explain yourselves when it is necessary or warranted. I'm not saying you should use this as a manipulation tool for power purposes or anything like that, or for gaslighting other people. Just straight up that if you have good people in your life, they will understand when you don't want to do things or when you're just simply not in the mood, and you won't really need to provide explanations to them. You just won't. That's been my own experience. And this is especially important for dating, especially at the early stages of dating someone, because if you don't want to do specific plans with someone, that's okay. You shouldn't feel like you need to accommodate everything they want to do. And quite often you don't really need to go super in depth for the reason that's why you don't want to do that. If you don't want to do something that a date suggests, then just tell them, I don't want to do that, and provide a different situation or a different plan that you would actually be wanting to do. That's far better than just saying no and providing a long explanation where you could almost lose them in the process of doing it, and then not offering an alternative. So that's really all you need to do. Just say no and provide an alternative. And I wouldn't say you should ever use this to test people, but it will kind of give you insight into what they're like. So if you don't end up wanting to do specific date plans with one person and you'd rather do something else, and you put that out there, if they get mad or angry over it, that kind of tells you that maybe they're not someone that you should want to go on dates with, because maybe they're a little bit emotionally unstable. So that's basically my rationale for why you shouldn't really need to explain yourself all that much, because the right people will just understand. They'll have enough empathy that they'll be cool with it. They're not going to want long explanations. They're not going to get mad over it or upset over it. They're just going to be like, okay, cool, I've got my own things going on. I'll be able to adapt and overcome you not being able to join me today, and I'll do other things, and then I'll see you when I can see you. That's the way they'll be. So that's pretty much today's video. That's all I have for you. If you enjoy my content, then make sure to subscribe or follow me, and like the video, comment, and share it. That's the easiest way you can help me out. And let me know your thoughts on this. But remember, don't use this for manipulation. And I'm not at all arguing for that. There are going to be situations where you will need to provide explanations. For instance, if you're flaking on someone last minute or canceling last minute, definitely let them know why. Don't just not show up and ghost them, or don't be rude about it. You should provide explanations in some situations, but I'll leave that up to your discretion about it, because there are way too many situations. I'm not going to get into a whole list of things you should or shouldn't do. You should know by now if you're an adult. But anyway, I'm going to end the video here, so I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Arrivederci!